What's up, everybody? You were tuned in to the Cris Mal
Ammo.
podcast, episode 178, Big Energy Monday. Hope everybody's having a good Monday. Whatever you're doing, you're at home, you're at work. Hope you're having a good day. Appreciate y'all tapping in with us in the live. If you're listening on the playback, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we appreciate y'all tapping in. Leave a comment in the comment section too. We got a lot to talk about. NBA draft happened last week. We got some other NBA news, all the trades and stuff, and the NBA leagues opened up today. So started a new league year. We got some NFL stuff, some fantasy football, a big trade happened today too. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And yeah, man, we got some WWE stuff, some UFC stuff. So we got a full show today, needless to say. So before we get into all that, Mo, how you feeling, man?
Oh man, feeling good, man. You know what I'm saying? Nice day off yesterday. Check out this new little restaurant, man. It's called like Mucho Luco. It's not bad. Shout out to them. Pretty good food. Good vibes. But yeah, man, feeling good, man. Trying to stay out this heat, man. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Can't complain. Off day. Had to handle some business with the lady's car, but you know, everything's all good.
All good now. Car running.
I mean, it was already running. It was just, a sound we was hearing. We gotta get corrected, but it's cool.
Got you. For sure.
All right, man. Let's talk about the NBA draft.
Yeah.
We all knew that Cooper Flag was going to be the number one overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, it was kind of a crapshoot who was going to go where. I know the whole draft, everybody's talking about Ace Bailey in his situation with the Utah Jazz and how that's going on. He's not reporting. But overall, it was a pretty solid draft. What were your overall thoughts and takeaways from the NBA draft?
Obviously, we all knew what the number one pick was going to be with Cooper Flag. Obviously, he's going to be a tremendous fit with that team, and he's in an unfamiliar situation with normal number one picks. Man, he's actually going to be put in a situation where they're an entitled contending team. He's going to be surrounded by top talent. He's going to have the tutelage of Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, championship style players. Jason Kidd as the head coach. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how they play him. Jason Kidd in the press conference already kind of hinted during Summer League, which happens, I think, in a week or two, that, we could potentially see Cooper Flag playing some point guard. So that should be a very interesting sighting, with his style of play. I could see it finish. So that should be really good. Dylan Harper, obviously with the Spurs, I think that's going to be a tremendous fit. BJ, obviously the draft really kind of started at the number 3 pick with the 76ers because a lot of people in early stages probably would have had Ace Bailey going to this spot right here, especially the situation that the 76ers are in. They're in a very interesting spot. But obviously with the whole situation with Ace Bailey, they decided to go with VJ Edgecombe, which he's an athletic two guard, which I think he's going to be a nice fit with them. You can see potentially that they have their front court of the future with Tyrese Maxey. You still got McCain and him. The 76ers, man, as I said it before in the last pod, man, when we kind of talk about a little bit with the 76ers is that I know it's saying a lot, but if Joel Embiid and Paul George, if they can get right, if they can stay healthy, man, that team is going to be really, really solid. You have a lot of youth, very talented guys with a lot of veteran leadership, an MVP style player. If he can stay healthy, the Philadelphia 76ers could be a scary team. And I know it's saying a lot with, Joel Embiid trying to stay healthy, but you got to look at that. Then obviously, Ace Bailey did report to the Jazz, I think on Sunday or something like that, Sunday, Saturday or whatever. But I think Ace Bailey, I know he was trying to find a spot where he can, show the growth of his talent, try to be in the best position so he can be an all-star player who can be a top player. I think the Jazz is a perfect fit. I know maybe the city may not be where he wanted to go, but I think as far as all the other aspects and what he was looking for in a team and showing his skill set and becoming that all-star talented type of player that I think we all can see him being, because he can definitely put it in the bucket. I think this is a perfect spot for him. So I'm really happy that, I know it's been a lot of clips of his, his team, that, look a little sketchy, but look, I'm happy that he's there. I think overall, even in his comments in the media, I think he's kind of said all the right things. That he's just going to focus on basketball. So hopefully now that he's there, everything could be peachy king, and then he can go ahead and play. Trey Johnson with the Wizards, I think this is a great fit. Pelicans, Jeremiah Fears, I think with him being there, I think it puts a lot of questions in what they potentially could do with Trey Murphy and other aspects of that team. I don't know. The Pelicans are in a weird spot. I don't know where they're going. Even the Nets, you got Edgar Demon. I know there's a lot of Nets fans that aren't too happy about what the Nets did. I don't know what direction that the Nets are going. I know they're kind of trying to position themselves to get a big key player like a Giannis Antetokounmpo and all that, but I just don't see Giannis, being very attractive to that spot. I obviously there was a swing with I think the Trailblazers. They ended up taking what's my man's name? Trying to see if I can find it. It's like a 7'2". What is his name? I can't find him. Where's he at? Young Hassan. He was traded to the Blazers. It was technically the Grizzlies pick. So I obviously, if you've seen, I'm pretty sure no one's really seen tape of this guy, but he's a big guy who can pass the ball, who has a nice touch around the rim. I think that's going to be a real interesting spot. Obviously, with the whole situation with DeAndre Ayton getting bought out, I think that was one of the key reasons why he got bought out. You drafted two centers, Klingon, and then now this guy. So I think that was a very interesting pick. And then I'm going to talk about my Lakers real quick. Obviously, we traded up to get my man Adu Thero from Arkansas. He's a very athletic big. He gives me like OG vibes a lot. You know what I mean? Obviously, he doesn't have the touch as far as like shooting capabilities like OG does, but I think he can work on that. I think he has a decent form. It doesn't seem like he has an ugly form or anything like that. But I actually do like it. He fits as far as like, we're heading into this youth phase with the Lakers and all that. So I really like Adu Thero. And then obviously Johnny Broome went to the 76ers. I think he'll be a really great backup, with Joel Embiid. He's a veteran guy. He's been in college for a little bit. So I think that was a nice pickup as well.
For sure. Who are your losers in the draft?
I said I'm not really a fan what the Nets did. The Pelicans, I'm not really a fan of either. I would say those would be the two teams that I'm still kind of scratching my head and trying to figure out what they're doing.
What team is the biggest winner outside of Dallas? What team is the biggest winner?
The biggest winner? I really like the what the Rockets did, getting Kamen Mulak. Oh no, my bad. He got traded. I apologize. Honestly, the Hawks. I really like what the Hawks did. I'm not really mad at that. Who else do I like? I'll probably say the Jazz. Getting Ace Bailey. I think, taking that swing. I think they have a guy that I think that could potentially be an all-star style caliber style player. Obviously, with everything going on with off the court stuff and like that, if he could just have his head on straight, he's an ultra talented player. So I would probably say if I had to pick anybody, I really like what the Jazz did. I'm not mad at what the Jazz did.
Sure. All right, man. We'll see. Summer League is coming up, so we'll see some of these guys playing in Summer League. And,
kick off Lakers Mavs Thursday.
Getting their feet wet in Vegas, so we'll see some of these guys get to play. So should be exciting time for NBA basketball.
Yeah.
All right, man. This is your lane. UFC 317 happened this past weekend.
Great card.
Give us your overall thoughts of the card and everything.
Yeah, I'll mainly talk about the main card. Obviously, the whole card was amazing. Shout out to everybody who participated and fought. Obviously, Tracy Cortez, she was on the undercard. She was amazing. She dominated. Everybody's one of his favorite. But obviously, Joshua Van, he faced Brandon Raval. Rival was the number one contender going into this fight, and I saw Joshua Vaughn the last time I went to, I forgot, it was the Alex Pereira fight, and then he kind of came in short notice and he dominated. This was potentially fight of the year, man. These two guys really duked it out, but Joshua Vaughn was able to get a nice clean shot in the final round, last couple seconds in the round, and was able to get him on the ground, able to take that fight. I thought he was very tremendous in that, and potential star, man. A lot of people definitely know his name, and that was definitely fight of the night. As far as like the co-main events, you had Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Pantoja dominated this whole fight. Took Kara France to the ground. Was definitely in control. He ended up got him in a rear naked chokehold to end the fight in round 3. And then, Joshua Van, who literally fought just the fight before, stepped into the ring, and it seems like we're going to get a Pantoja versus Van fight. Van coming out of nowhere, he was an unranked fighter, and now he's the number one contender. It shows his growth, cat from Houston. So shout out to him, man. Excited to see what he could potentially do against Pantoja. It's going to be a very, very tough fight. Pantoja, man, he has it all, man. He has a ground game, he has stand-up game, man. Kicks, all that, man. He's amazing. And then obviously going into the main event, man, the one that everybody was kind of like anticipating was the Ilia Topuria fight versus Charles Oliveira. Topuria dominated, knocked him out round 1 with a right hook. You could tell that earlier in the fight, man, he just had all control, man. He's definitely one of the best boxing UFC fighters I've seen in a very, very long time. Obviously, I think he's up there with the likes of like a Max Holloway and stuff like that. We all saw what he was capable of doing with Max Holloway. Ilia Topuria is on probably, I think he's like the 11th, who's the 11th, 2 different division weight classes champion. So he's up there with like the Conor McGregors and stuff like that. We haven't seen it, since Conor McGregor. So I think Topuria is definitely the next superstar. You could definitely tell that UFC is going to put a lot of ammo behind him as far as like marketing and all that type of stuff like that. He has it all. Obviously, everybody wants him to fight Islam Makhachev, but Islam is moved up. Obviously, they had Paddy Pimblett. He walked into the ring. They're kind of anticipating that could be. Obviously, they have a little rival going on. They were talking shit in the ring. Dana White didn't seem too happy about it, but I think that's going to be the fight that we get, that Topuria is going to be in. And I think that fight's definitely going to sell because those two hate each other's guts. Paddy can sell the fight with the way he talks, especially in his accent and all that stuff like that. So it should be amazing, man. The UFC 317 card was amazing. I think we got great fights. We got a couple new stars. We might have had, we definitely got a superstar out of this with Topuria. He was definitely heading in that lane. And shout out to Charles Oliveira. I know he was definitely a fan favorite. It definitely sucked to see him get knocked out like that. But you know what I mean? I know he's getting up there with age, but at the end of the day, man, he's one of the greats of all time. And I can't wait to see him bounce back. But this is the era of Topuria. And it should be an exciting one. I'm very curious to see how UFC handles that, man, because I think we've been talking about a lot with UFC that they've been kind of, obviously you had the Alex Pereiras and stuff like that. John Jones, he was there, but now he's retired. So you were kind of looking for that next superstar. Who's going to be that next superstar? It seems like they found one in Ilia Topuria. So I think UFC should definitely be excited for the future of the way it's going, especially with him.
For sure. What's the next big card?
So the next one, we got Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. I think it's in a couple weeks. It'll be Dustin Poirier's last fight. So it's for the BMF title. It's going to be in New Orleans, his hometown, I believe. So that's the next card. Definitely going to be an exciting card. So I think everybody should definitely look out for that, man. UFC's been hitting on some nice cylinders. I know last month was a little sketchy, especially in May and stuff like that. But June, July, August, September, man, they should be rocking for sure. So shout out. It should be a good fight. I can't wait for that.
For sure. All right, man. Madden dropped their top 20 ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Pull this up real quick. Bam. So here are the top 20 players according to the Madden 26. They got Lamar Jackson, number 1 at 99. Saquon, 99. Josh Allen, 99. Justin Jefferson, they got a lot of 99s. Justin Jefferson's a 99. Jamar Chase is a 99. Myles Garrett's a 99. And Lane Johnson's a 99. And then you have Derrick Henry, Michael Parsons, and George Kittle as 98s. Trent Williams, Fred Warner, Chris Jones, Patrick Surtain, Joe Burrow, all 97s. And then TJ Watt, Jordan Mulata, Dexter Lawrence, Amon St. Brown, and Max Crosby are all 96s. I ask you, sir, do you have a problem with this list?
Of course I got a problem. My man Max Crosby should be a fucking 99. What are we talking about? Come on, man. What are we talking about? Max Crosby, one of the best DNs in the league, bro. He competes, bro. He's up there, bro. He's competing for defensive players of the years. I'm surprised TJ Watt ain't closer to a 99. You know what I mean? I think with him, obviously with injuries, but when he's healthy, man, he's one of the best defensive players in the league. As far as like all the 99s, I'm not mad at it. Lamar Jackson, Saquon, I think those two definitely deserve to be 99s. Josh Allen, he had an amazing year. I'm not mad at it. I am a little shocked that Patrick Mahomes is not in this top tier list. I get he didn't, they still made it to the goddamn Super Bowl, dog. I don't understand why he's not,
he's a 95. That's why. So he missed it.
Yeah, I don't understand how he's a 95. I think that's crazy, dog. Like, if you're gonna have Josh Allen 99, then you have to if that's the case, then Josh Allen shouldn't be 99. Like, let's call it fake. You know what I mean? Lamar Jackson shouldn't be 99. But I think I
say him, not to cut you off, I say it more for Josh Allen. Like, people don't understand. Yes, Josh Allen was the MVP. And I know Patrick Mahomes, I'll even admit he didn't have the greatest year. No. But if you look at their numbers, Mahomes had more yards than Josh Allen.
He did.
Josh Allen had 2 more touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes last year. It wasn't like he blew him out the way. If anything, Lamar Jackson and Saquon and maybe Justin Jefferson.
He didn't even have his star receiver, Rashid Rice, majority of the year. Right. Half the year. So yeah.
He didn't have none of that. So I'm just saying,
yeah. And he lost his starting running back as well too. He got hurt as well. So
and he didn't have a left tackle.
and he have a left tackle. Either way, Patrick Mahomes should be at the top. Like, if you're gonna give Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen 99, you got to give Patrick Mahomes a 99. That's just I don't understand that. Justin Jefferson 99. I'm not mad. Jamar Chase, obviously you gotta be 99. Yeah, Myles Garrett, yes. Lane Johnson, one of the best O linemen. Yes. Derrick Henry 98. I'm not mad. He had a great year last year. Micah Parsons, I could honestly, if I had to switch, I would switch Micah Parsons to Max Crosby. I personally would, because I think Max Crosby has been a more consistent defensive player. Like, I like Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is hella talented, but we say this every year. He starts off strong, but by the mid-year to end of the year, he disappears. You see Micah Parsons disappear on that screen a lot more than you do see Max Crosby. Max Crosby, when you watch a Raider game, you know where Max Crosby is at every moment in time. You hear Max Crosby's name from the announcers every single time. Max Crosby should be at least a 98, bro. I know I was talking my shit with a 99, but I still think he should be 99. But respectfully, he should at least be either at the same level as Michael Parsons or higher. There's no way Michael Parsons is a better player than Max Crosby. I do not care. I don't care what Cowboy fan says. That's why everybody was clamoring to have Max Crosby on their goddamn team last year. So I hate that. George Kittle 98.
A little too rich, huh?
I think it's a little too rich for me. I do think George Kittle is one of the better tight ends, but if George Kittle is a 98, where's my man Brock Bowers at, bro? Come on, dog. Where's my man Brock Bowers at? Brock Bowers was the best goddamn tight end. He put up numbers that I don't think any rookie tight end has done since, I forgot who was it, Tony Gonzalez or something like that. Something like that. I'm like, bro, come on, man. He was the best tight end all year. He was better than George Kittle. Brock Bowers, I get it. It's his second year. You want to see if he can do it again, which we all expect him to do it again. At least he should at least be in the top 20. If you're going to give George Kittle a 98, if you're going to have one tight end, it should be Brock Bowers. So I do not like that. Trent Williams at 97. Look, I love Trent Williams. He used to be a 99 player, but he was hurt a lot last year. He did not play. He's getting up there in age. I don't like the 97. Obviously, if he's healthy, obviously he's one of the better he's probably the best, one of the best.
Yeah, he's the best.
But nah. Fred Warner, I'm not mad. Fred Warner is definitely one of the best. He's probably the best middle linebackers in the league. Yeah. Chris Jones, he should be higher, bro.
I think so too.
Chris Jones should be higher, bro. Chris Jones up there. He should be there with Miles. If you're going to give out 99s like this, Chris Jones should be a 99.
I think he should be up. Michael Parsons definitely is the best defensive.
That's what I'm saying. How do you have Michael Parsons 98, but you have Chris Jones and Max Crosby at 97 and 96.
But
Both of those players are better than Micah Parsons.
But they're going off of sack numbers. That's what they're going off.
But still, though, look, I love Micah Parsons. I know this should sound like I'm talking shit about. I would love Micah Parsons on my team. Anybody would love Micah Parsons on their team. But again, Chris, let me ask you: have there been plenty of couple years ever since Micah Parsons been in this league where he disappears in a lot of games, especially towards the end of the year? Chris
Teams
Jones
figure them out.
They figure him out, and then he just gets tired. He gets tired, and it's just like at the second half of the year, it's just he's not the same player. That's why they be having the problems that they have towards the end of the year in the playoffs. Yeah. Chris Jones doesn't have that problem. Max Crosby does not have that problem. TJ Watt does not have that. Well, he has an injury problem, but if he's healthy, he doesn't have a disappearing act type of problem. He just doesn't. Like, I do not like that. So yes, like Micah Parsons is probably my biggest ick right now. Patrick Surtain, not mad. Joe Burrow, not mad. Even with the numbers he had, like you could potentially say he should be a higher overall. Like statistically, he was probably the best. He probably might right behind probably Lamar Jackson as far as statistically.
If the Bengals had a better defense, they make the playoffs. Joe Burrow might have been the MVP last year.
He could have been the MVP last year. They probably won the Super Bowl last year with that offense if they had a decent defense.
Yeah, he probably.
We all can say like let's be real. Josh Allen was the MVP, but Joe Burrow was probably playing the best ball towards the end of the year. So, we talked about TJ Watt. Jordan Mailata, not mad. Dexter Lawrence, not mad. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a great year, not mad. Max Crosby. Is there anybody else that I could think that should be up in here? I think where's Malik Neighbors at?
I think what they're doing with the rookies, I think they're saying prove it again.
No, I know that's exactly what they're doing. That's why Brock Bowers isn't on here.
I think they're like, we're not going to put this dude in there. He just had one great rookie year. Let's see him do it again. Now, I think after this year, like let's say Brock Bowers has another 1,400 yards and some odd touchdowns, then he's gonna crack this top 20 for sure.
Oh, 100%. Like, but again, it's like, how much do you weigh that? You know what I mean? Like, you have an up and coming young player as far as like Brock Bowers. I would understand it more for quarterbacks than I would for a Brock Bowers, because we come on, man. I think it's much guaranteed that Brock Bowers is going to put up the same numbers as long as he stays healthy. I think with rookie quarterbacks, I get it. I understand that. That's why one of the reasons why probably Jaden Daniels is in that top, because you want to see it again, because we saw it with CJ Stroud. He had a great year. Then second year, like it just, obviously there was a lot of injuries that involved with that. And obviously he didn't have the old line. So that was stuff that it was out of his control. But, you know, there's still a couple bad throws that he did, inconsistencies in throws and plays. But, you know, like I would understand it more with quarterbacks than like a wide receiver or a tight end. Like, I feel like if you're able to figure out your rookie year, I think it should be even easier your next couple as it goes. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you've already went up against the best, and they can't stop you. It's not like none of that shit's really going to change except for injuries. That's the only thing that I could see that would deprive a Malik Neighbors, a Brian Thomas, a Brock Bowers, anybody like that. Like, I would find that more of I kind of agree. I don't agree. I think those guys should be in the top 20, because I would put more weight on Trent Williams being an older player who's had a lot of injuries. I'll put more weight on Micah Parsons being burnt out. George Kittle, he has his injury problems, and he's going to be more of a focal point. And there's going to be more people. Not saying this should be deplete his overall, but I don't think he might not have a strongest year this year, because he's an older tight end who is probably going to get a lot more focus now, because they don't really have the receivers like they used to. Like, obviously they have some young receivers, but at the end of the day, George Kittle is probably going to be their number one target as far as receiver wise. Mm-hmm. But I would have more weight on situations like that as far as like age, injuries, and stuff like that. But overall, man, my only ick I would probably say is Michael Parsons being ahead of Max Crosby and Chris Jones and TJ Watt. That's probably my more ick. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not mad at your sentiment. Like, overall, I'm not mad at this list. I hear you on Michael Parsons. I just think they look at sack numbers. You know, they don't really care about that other stuff. I'm with you on Trent.
That's the problem with Madden. That's the problem with Madden. It is. The numbers aren't always the story of how the game is played. We see what Max Crosby and Chris Jones have to do with on a day-to-day basis.
Right. Trent Williams, I'm with you on that. I think that last year, personally, he had a dip, and it was only because of the injuries. Like, he wasn't the same guy. And, you know, he was still really good, but he wasn't great Trent Williams that we all know to be the best left tackle in the business. So,
let me ask you this. Sorry to cut you off. What do you think Puka should be on this top 20?
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I think the injury messed him up too. Even though he came back, but he was injured like probably 6 games last year.
Yeah, but he still was top 10.
Whereas I think Ahmad St. Brown gets a bad rap. Like,
no, there's nothing. This has nothing to do with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is.
Because if you put Puka in, you're probably gonna take Dexter Lawrence or Jordan Mailata out.
You probably would. Like, obviously, I think if Nico Collins stayed healthy, I think he could easily make this list.
And you can actually make a case for Dexter Lawrence to get taken out because he got hurt and that defensive line did not skip a beat.
Yeah.
He was out for he was out for most of the season last year.
Yeah.
His season was ended. So, and that
defensive
CeeDee
Lamb, where the fuck is CeeDee Lamb at? Like, come on, dog. Like, come on, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing? CeeDee Lamb isn't on the same tier as Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. They're all competing for one. They're all competing for one. What are we talking about? CeeDee Lamb is competing along with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. And we can't fault him because his star quarterback got hurt. We can't fault him because he did get hurt towards the end of the year, but I think he could have still played if they were in playoff contention. Like they just chose to send him out because it was pointless for him to continue playing because they weren't making the playoffs. Like come on, where's CeeDee Lamb at? Like this is crazy. This is crazy. Like if you're putting Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase 99, CeeDee Lamb has to be 99. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But hey, man, shout out to Madden. College football coming out next week, right?
Yeah, college football looks fantastic. They actually had Ryan Williams. They had like an actual gameplay with one of the college football creators that's on YouTube. And it's in depth, man. They showed a lot of different things as far as like where you can actually place safeties on the outside, inside, come up, play the run, play deep for whatever. The substitution mechanic, I love that, where you don't have to pause anymore. You could just substitute on the fly. It looks like they also did a lot of QB revamp because obviously you see it in Madden where the QBs play more like themselves, the way they throw the ball, the way they run, all that type of stuff like that. You see it a little bit, maybe not as precise as like Madden is, but they do have the different arm mechanics as far as like how you were able to throw the ball, sidearm, different ways, quarterbacks throw. The height, they showed the way the height matters as far as like with the quarterback from a 5'10" quarterback to, a 6'5" quarterback like Drew Allar, where, if you're a smaller quarterback, the lanes actually, you gotta, how to pick your lanes and how to throw in the pocket. You know what I mean? Instead of being able to throw over the old lineman, it's going to be a lot tougher if you have a smaller quarterback. The in-depth with franchise mode and all that, like, college football, like I know a lot of people say it looks the same, but it looks like they did a lot of fine tuning, a lot of stuff that can definitely defer. Oh, they also showed a mechanic where if you hold the play, you can you can choose different stints and stunts for your O line and for your D line and all that stuff like that. I thought that was amazing. I think college football 26 is gonna be fire. Look, they already sold me. I know a lot of people are like, don't buy Madden, don't buy college football. I'm buying that shit. I'm buying the little bundle shit. So I'm excited to play college football. I think comes out Monday. So we're also, we'll be able to, once we do our pod, get on that shit. And then hopefully Chris will want to get his ass whooped one of these days. He's been ducking a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like I let him slide because, my man, I don't want to put too much pressure. I don't want to make my man sweat. But, one of these days he's going to have to run the fade, bro. He can't run away from the fade. Like I've been trying to get him on Undisputed. I've been trying to get him on college football. He be saying like, we'll make it happen. And then he never makes it happen. So I want the community to personally get on this man's ass and be like, yo, stop ducking the smoke from Mo. Like sooner or later, y'all going to have to do a Twitch stream and y'all gonna have to get it down. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, anybody that's watching this, get in my man's DMs, get on his Twitter, get on his Instagram, tell him like, yo, stop dunking the smoke, dog. It's time. It's time.
Please to feel. All right, man. We'll be right back. We got a quick commercial break.
Introduce yourself to Magnet, the ultimate sports drink. Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps and fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. Its power-packed electrolytes and rehydrates and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts and no artificial colors or flavors because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join the Magnet movement whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, use promo code Cris Mal to get $5 off your purchase. So don't wait. Again, that promo code is Cris Mal to get $5 off your purchase. Get Magnet, push your limits, fuel your passion.
Shout out to Magnet Sports Drink. All right. Let's talk about the Lakers free agency and LeBron James talk. This is your lane, sir. This is your team. What's going on with the Lakers?
So obviously with the Lakers, obviously free agency starts at 3. I think is it 3 Eastern or 3 p.m. Pacific? I'm not sure. I think it's 3 p.m. Pacific. But and news came out yesterday that LeBron James was exercising his $52.6 million player option, which we all kind of expected, or he was going to get a 1+1 deal. But the majority of the news came where Rich Paul, his agent, the owner of Clutch Sports, he made a quote saying that LeBron wants to compete for a championship. That he told Shams he knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that. He values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his career, life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that and are supportive and want what's best for him. So obviously with that statement, it definitely made this him exercising his option. It made a lot of noise because it kind of hinted that, if the Lakers don't do anything, that he might consider asking for a trade. And we all know where the Lakers are in this position where they only can make so many moves. They're in desperate need of a center. Obviously, and then plus now with the whole situation with Dorian Finney-Smith, where it's looking like he's not going to be where he declined his option. And now seems like he's going to go to Houston, where he's going to get like a 4-year deal. So that's another hole that the Lakers are going to have to fix. It's just made a lot of noise with LeBron. So a lot of people have been speculating, is this the time where the Lakers should and LeBron should, exercise the right where he can get traded? Obviously LeBron has a no trade clause, so he's able to dictate in some form or fashion. But I'll say this, obviously I've always been a big proponent that I think it's always been time that we move on from LeBron, because I think now that we have a secured future, obviously we still got to wait to see if Luka's going to sign a contract. I know a lot of people do expect him to sign his extension. It just depends on the years, on what he's going to do. I think the most obvious, is going to be probably the 3 years, because I think after 2, he'll be able to sign a new contract to kind of recoup all the money that he lost for the trade. I think that's most likely what's going to happen. But I've always said that I think it's time. Look, everybody knows I'm not the number one all LeBron fan. I'm not that guy. I do respect him in his career. I know he's an all-time great. No one's ever going to deny that. No one can deny that. I do appreciate everything that he's done for the Lakers as far as winning us a championship in the bubble. A hard deserved, very unique experience. I think there was a true form to basketball. I think there was no excuses during that bubble time, unlike other years. I think that was a true championship, and we got to honor that. And I appreciate every single one of those guys for doing that for a Lakers squad that I've loved since I was a kid. So there's no disrespect to LeBron here. I'm being honest. I do think it's time we move on. Now, this morning, there have been a lot of talk. We getting stuff from Brian Windhorst, Bobby Marks, and all that stuff like that, where Bobby Marks clearly stated on Get Up that there is no market for LeBron James. And the reason due to that is his age, the assets you would probably have to trade for LeBron, because especially with the second apron, you would have to match the salaries. You have to match that $52.6 million. So it's not like you can just give up 7 to 8 small contracts, like you're just going to deplete your whole team. You're going to have to throw in, like, let's say the Knicks, you're going to have to throw in an OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges and something else to make sure the numbers are correct. And I know people have been saying, oh, well, LeBron can dictate yes, he can dictate who can be in the trade and all that, but the numbers still have to match. You cannot trade 10 small contracts to just fit. That's not going to work. So it's looking more likely that everything LeBron has said is more of just, it feels more of like I'm still here. Like, don't forget about me. This may be my last year. There's been this video that's been going around where I think he was in New York at dinner, and you can clearly hear him saying that his wife Savannah wants him to retire in a year or so. So you got to look at that. You also got to look at the situation with Bryce and his son. He's playing in Arizona. I think most likely he will come out next year, and I do assume that he will be a first-round pick. So you got to look at that angle. Does LeBron want to play with his other son? Obviously, with the Lakers, this will clear us in the books for next year. There's also been rumors that the Lakers are kind of gearing up for more for 2026 than they are for 2025. It's like they want to play this as a gap year, but also they know they have to compete for a championship because obviously they still have to appease Luka. They still have to appease Bron for while he's here. You don't want to cause too much turmoil and all that stuff like that. So I think 2026 is the big year where they start go big fish hunting. Maybe a Giannis, maybe a center that we Bam Adebayo or something like that. We can fill out this whole roster because I think the only contract that we have in 2026 currently would be Jared Vanderbilt. Obviously, we expect, even if Luka were to sign any kind of extension this year, I don't think it doesn't affect the books too much. Obviously, you got to look in the Austin Reeves situation. He's going to win his money next year. So, there's been rumors that most likely they will probably keep him as well. So I think it's time. Obviously, the big thing right now with free agency is you lost DFS, so you got to have to fill up that position. I was hoping they would try to go after Darian Sharp from the Nets, but he looks like he's about to re-sign with the Nets. I thought he would have been a great fit. But you did got to do thorough, but he's going to be more of a project, so I don't think he's going to have too much of an impact, especially too early on in the season. The big news also that came out yesterday was DeAndre Ayton. He got bought out. That was kind of like one of the centers that the Lakers were kind of rumored to be trading for, but his trade market was so bad, and I guess everything going on that they just decided to buy him out. So now we could potentially – look, I'm not a big DeAndre Ayton fan. I know he has a motor problem, but he's still young. He's still a talented guy. He was a number 1 overall pick. I think he was in the same draft as Luka. Luka and him both have the same agent. I think it's looking more like we're gonna probably get Ayton. I don't know how much they're gonna use because now with Dorian Finney-Smith we have the full mid-level exception, so we can use 14. I think it's like $14.6 million or something like that we can use. Now the question is are they gonna use all 14 for a DeAndre Ayton or a Brook Lopez or an Al Horford, or are they going to split that up? I hope they can split that up. Hopefully they can do something where whatever money that DeAndre Ayton gave back to the Blazers, they can just use that difference. So maybe if it's $5 million, they could just pay him $5 million. And from a lot of reports from insider reporters, that's kind of like what happens with buyouts. Like whatever money they gave back to whatever organization that they got bought out from, the team that they do sign ends up paying that difference pretty much. So let's say DeAndre Ayton were to give up $5 million, they would just pay him $5 million for the year. So he's not losing any of his money that he was going to get. So hopefully it's a situation like that where he only paid like $5 or $6 million. Then they can just use $5 or $6 million of that 14, pay DeAndre, so he'll still get his $35 million that he was expecting to get this year, because Portland will end up pay the bigger portion of that, and then they could just use the rest to find a wing player or maybe potentially use that. They still have some obviously they have expiring contracts that can use that to trade. So it's gonna be interesting. Shams says even he was on a Pat McAfee show and he kind of stated that there's gonna be some big deals coming down here tonight. So we got to stay tuned to see what's going to happen. I don't know what that means, but we kind of already know about some certain things going on in the NBA. We'll have more of a deep dive on Wednesday night with NBA free agency because there'll be more of we'll understand where everybody's kind of going. So we'll kind of wait for that Wednesday night. But as far as my Lakers, man, that's kind of what's going on. I expect LeBron to stay. I expect LeBron to finish out his contract with us, and I think that's when he'll decide whether he's going to either retire or maybe play one more year. And then I do think that we will have a center by tonight. I'm thinking it's probably going to be DeAndre Ayton because I think that just makes sense. He's a young center. So, but we will see here as the hours go by today.
For sure. Are you nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. I think the only thing nervous you got to be about, honestly, is just the Luka thing. Obviously, that's the main thing. Out of anything else, yes, we need the center and all that, and LeBron, the whole LeBron situation. Yes, I understand. But the biggest thing for the Lakers this offseason has always been Luka signing the contract, and I think he will. But I think people are going to be uneasy until August comes. And August it's not too far away, but you know, I mean, it's still a little while. So it gives the Lakers time to, you know, figure it out. Obviously, these next couple weeks are going to be very huge for the Lakers and trying to figure out how this season is going to play out. But yeah, the biggest thing will be when Luka signs a contract, if he signs a contract, what are the years? What does it look like? Stuff like that.
For sure. All right, man. Let's do our BetUS Short 5 picks.
Yeah, let's do it.
What you got, sir?
All right, man. So I got a couple. So I got Real Madrid. They're in the FIFA Club Team World Cup. Big game tomorrow. They play Juventus tomorrow. I'm gonna take Real Madrid money line over Juventus. Baseball today. I got the Giants -1.5 over the Diamondbacks, and I'm sorry, brother. I got the Mariners -1.5 over the Royals.
You know what, man? That sounds like a little hate right there.
Nah, no hate. But you know, y'all been having y'all ups and downs this year.
Oh, yeah. Makes me very sad.
Sorry about that, brother.
And you do something at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Give me the Padres over the Phillies on the money line. Let me get the Yankees over the Blue Jays, and I will take the Orioles over the Rangers, and I'm taking the Lynx 6.5 over the Fever.
Yeah, that's gonna be a blowout.
They just whooped the Sun ass yesterday. Jesus.
Yeah, Nafisa Collier. Yo, shout out to her making the Slam magazine cover.
Yeah, shout out to Nafisa Collier, man. I didn't tell you.
Good too, looking good too. What happened?
Yeah, made a 16 yesterday, player.
Oh, you did? How'd it look?
I took Alicia Gray over 17.5 points. She got 20. She got 23.
Okay.
I had Kelsey Plum over 18.5 points. She had like 20-something points. I took Angel Reese over 12.5 rebounds. She got like
she killed it. She killed it yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I took Asia Wilson over 21.5 points. She had like 26.
That's easy money. That's easy.
And then I took Nafisha. She gave me 23. That's exactly what I needed.
Oh, so how much we look?
Somebody else that I took. Who else did I took one more person and they got me my points. Oh, Brianna Stewart. That's who got me my points.
Oh, so how much did your brother win?
8.
Okay. You know, pay for the little pay for the car, huh? He was excited about that one.
Sweating bullets, man.
Hey, shout out to you, brother. Shout out. Dinner on you, man. For sure.
I don't know about all that.
Here he goes. No, I'm just messing.
But for all you people out there, you could be just like me and win you some money by scanning this QR code. This is for first-time users only. You sign up, put all your information, put the promo code JOIN125. You get 125% sign-in bonus. That's 3 risk-free bets on your first 3 deposits on $100 up to $5,000. So that means on your first 3 deposits, if you bet $100 and you lose, you bet, you keep your money. But you can also win some money. So win money, keep your money. Go ahead and go over to BetUS, sign up, tell Cris Mal sent you. And that does it for our BetUS Short 5 picks. All right, man. A trade went down today. I don't know if you know, but the Steelers made a move today.
They did.
They went and got cornerback Jalen Ramsey from the Miami Dolphins. They traded Steelers acquired him alongside tight end Jonnu Smith, who we both like. So that's a good pickup for them.
Yeah.
But they also sent Mika Fitzpatrick, top free safety out in this league. He goes over to the Dolphins to booster their secondary, and some draft picks. So I ask you, was this a good trade? Was this a meh trade, or was it stupid?
This definitely seems like an all-in trade for the Steelers. It seems like they're going all in this year. I love Jonnu Smith. I think Jonnu Smith is one of the more talented tight ends. I like. Look, if you're gonna go all in, I understand it. Obviously, you need to figure out the TJ Watt situation. I think that TJ Watt that Adam Schefter broke, I think like 30, 40 minutes ago, where there's teams looking into maybe potentially trading TJ Watt. I know that would probably be a long shot, but you got to make TJ Watt happy. If you don't have TJ Watt, all this shit is for nothing. So I think that needs to be the next thing that the Steelers are doing right now. I think they should have worried more about that than this trade. But overall, does this make them better than the Bengals? The Ravens? No. The Bengals? I don't know. That defense is already suspect. Maybe they could be a little bit better than them. Obviously, it just depends on Aaron Rodgers and his health. And obviously, this offense did get a better. I think this offense did get a lot better with Jonnu Smith, because I think he could have a breakout year under Aaron Rodgers. And then Jalen Ramsey's still good. Obviously, losing Minka Fitzpatrick definitely hurts, but I don't know that. I'm not too familiar with their safety situation. With the Dolphins, this seems like this is a question like, does this team need to consider trading Tyreek and maybe getting some more draft capital and trying to rebuild this team? I think that's kind of the next situation, because I think with Tua, I know me and you both aren't really big believers in Tua Tagovailoa. I think it's more so just the head injuries and stuff like that. I think he's one more concussion of maybe potentially retiring, because it's getting more scary and scary every time he has a concussion. And then we all know they don't have a true backup as far as like with this team. So I think that's a serious conversation that I think that you're probably going to hear from Dolphins fans and reporters and beat writers and stuff like that. I think that's the next conversation. But for the Steelers, it's an all-in situation. Does this move me a lot? I don't know. I said it still doesn't make me think they're better than the Ravens. I don't think they're going to be Super Bowl title contenders or anything like that. I think they could be a scary team where they can, give people a run for their money. But again, I don't expect that you're going to get an MVP Aaron Rodgers. Like, Aaron Rodgers is who Aaron Rodgers is currently at this state in his age, and he's already stated this is his last year. So this just seems like an all-in move, but it doesn't really floor me like that.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. Signing these old dudes is not doing it for me, man. Like, whatever.
Big names, but I only like the Jonnu Smith, because I think Jonnu Smith is a nice young tight end.
I still think that the Steelers need to get one more off, or a couple, maybe even a couple more. They need another wide receiver opposite DK Metcalf. Like, if you look behind him, it's not like there's a bunch of 3s and 4 wide receivers behind him. Now, maybe somebody emerges. Maybe Calvin Austin takes a step. I don't know, but
I did see Tyler Boyd said he wouldn't mind playing for the Steelers. I saw that. I like Tyler.
I like Tyler, but he's still a number 3, number 4 now.
Yeah. No,
he's not. If this was 4 or 5 years ago, Tyler Boyd, then I'd be like, yeah, he would be a good number 2 to DK Metcalf. But they need a number 2.
Let me ask you, do you think they should try to hit up the Saints and try to see what's up with Chris Olave?
They can afford it.
If you're gonna go all in, you might as well this year. You might as well. I would call to see what's up with Chris Olave. You know what I mean?
I think you could get him on a discount because of the whole head injury situation. No disrespect, but
Or if you were gonna do this trade, do you think they should try to trade for Tyreek or a Jalen Waddle or something? More so than the Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah.
Because you already got Darius Slay. I get Darius Slay as an older cornerback, but
now you got 2 old corners.
Now you got 2 older corners, So
unless what's her name is going to play more safety.
Who? Ramsey? No, that's a possibility.
Because Joey Porter Jr. is there.
Who's their safeties? Like, who they got in their safeties?
Well, they let go their best one and Mika.
I know. Let me see. While you talking, let me check. See what they got.
Because they signed with Did they bring back Deontay Jackson? And I know they got Joey.
Yeah, they got currently they got Deshaun Elliott, Juan Thornhill, Miles Killebrew.
Juan is good.
Quindell Johnson. Sebastian Castro. Those are their free safeties and strong
Juan
safeties.
is probably going to start at free safety for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, you could put him back. I mean, you could still put him at outside corner, and
You could, and you could probably do some like gadget shit where you have Jalen Ramsey back there or some shit like that.
you can move him around.
You can probably move him around. They're probably interchangeable pieces. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get why Minka Fitzpatrick probably was available then.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Jalen Ramsey. I don't know. To me, that doesn't make them Super Bowl contenders like everybody's trying to make it seem like they are. Like, no. Like,
Nah.
Now, if they had traded for Tyreek, I'd be like, okay, maybe, they can make the playoffs and make a little noise. I ain't saying Super Bowl contenders, but
because I'll be honest with you, even with DK, I know DK is a solid receiver, but the main reason why I think the Seattle Seahawks were so open to get rid of him because Jackson Smith and Jigba kind of took over the reins of being the best receiver. So, and DK Metcalf has some injury problems, and he has some moments where he disappears and stuff like that, like the inconsistencies of DK Metcalf. Like everybody thinks DK Metcalf is what AJ Brown is. Like he's not AJ Brown. He's not. Sorry. No, there's no disrespect, but DK Metcalf is not AJ Brown. He's not. Yeah. Now I know they like to compare those two a lot. They're not the same.
Yeah, they're not. But we'll see. We'll see.
How does have you talked to Show about this yet?
No, I haven't talked to him yet.
I'll ask him and tell me how
he's probably gonna do his little flag and you do.
I already know
his little towel, one little terrible towel. But like I said, I'm not moved by this. This doesn't make me fear the Steelers now. Like you said, they got to figure out TJ Watt situation. And
that needs to be their big thing they need to figure out. Let's say they do get the TJ Watt, which we all kind of assume that they probably will get that done. Where do you think this slots them? Do you think this potentially gets them into a playoff spot, more of a guaranteed playoff spot, or do you think they're still like kind of
look? I'm done discounting Tomlin to get the wild card spot. That's like at this point is the Tomlin wild card invitational. Like
that taxes and Steelers make it a wild card.
That's clockwork. They're gonna make a run at the end, and
they're gonna be a tough team. They're always a tough team. Like
I think their defense is gonna be good. You get that Steelers always have a good defense.
I like their running game too. Them adding Caleb Johnson.
And
I like their running game.
Now I will say that he could be a key. If this kid can come out and be something and be an effective weapon for them, he could take a lot of load off of Aaron Rodgers throwing the football down the field.
Yeah,
and you don't want Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball 30 sometimes.
Nah.
You can get him 25, 23 times throwing the football and getting that play action pass going. So you could effectively use a DK Metcalf down the field or whatever. Maybe we're cooking with grease. Maybe he builds a rapport with Jonnu Smith. That'll be a good upside too. But outside of that,
because honestly, all the shit talking aside, I think I have high expectations of Jonnu Smith. I really do. I think he can be a star tight end. And if he can be that for them, I know we see they need another receiver, and they do need another receiver, but he'll be a great second target for him and Metcalf. I think they could play well off each other. If he can have a great year, obviously they're going to be a tough team. You know what I mean? But again, this team is maybe 2 injuries away from not being good at all. You know what I mean? Like if DK Metcalf were to go down, that would be catastrophic. If obviously if Aaron Rodgers goes down, that would be catastrophic. And if TJ Watt were to go down, I think that's catastrophic for their D line. So
yeah. We'll see. All right, man. Let's do our top 10 fantasy wide receivers. We did our running backs. Now let's do a wide receivers. I'm gonna let you go first.
All right, for sure. I'm gonna start at 1. No, I'll start at 10. Number 10, I got AJ Brown. I know that may seem a little low for him, but again, you gotta think with fantasy. This isn't about best wide receivers. Like you got to look at the total aspect of how they play the call, how many touches they're going to get, stuff like that. I like AJ Brown. I think he's always going to be a top 10 receiver. I just think, you have a lot of weapons on that offensive side. Saquon Barkley, Deontay Smith, we saw it a couple games where he was complaining that he wasn't getting the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised if that same thing happened. Number 9, I got Ladd McConkey. I think if Ladd and Justin Herbert, if those guys can remain healthy, I think Ladd could be special. He can be one of the best slot style receivers in the league. So I like Ladd a lot. I think he'll definitely get a lot of touches. Number 8, I got Jackson Smith and Jigba. I know a lot of people are going to be questioning, with him being with Sam Darnold and how that offense is going to look, but I think Jackson Smith is going to get a lot of touches. I know they did sign Cooper Kupp, but Jackson Smith is clearly the number 1 receiver on that team. We saw the explosiveness that he has. He's one of those guys that can get, 6 catches for 180 yards, and 3 TDs. We saw that a couple times last year. I think he can have a really solid year. Number 7, I got Puka Nacua. Most of the time I'll probably have him a lot higher. I just think with the addition of Devontae Adams, I think that will take some touches away from him because I think Devontae Adams is still a great receiver. But I still think Puka's going to get a lot of touches as well. I can definitely see this team being a little pass happy, but you still got Kyron Williams in that backfield. You got to attend to him as well. So he will take some touches away. Devontae Adams will take some touches away from Puka, so that's why I have him at 7. But I think he'll still have a nice year. Number 6 is Brian Thomas. This one was a little tricky for me. I would like to put him higher, but I just don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to have that year that he needs to elevate him into top status. I think Brian Thomas has the capabilities of being up there with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, all those guys, Malik Neighbors, but it all comes down to the health of Trevor Lawrence. And then obviously you have the addition of Travis Hunter on that side as well. I think that could help get the double teams away from him as well. Number 5, I got Justin Jefferson. The only reason why is I just don't know how JJ McCarthy is going to perform. I really don't know. I don't know if he's going to perform to the same capabilities as what Sam Darnold did and all his past Kirk Cousins and all that. I just don't know how that's going to perform. And then obviously you still have Addison on that other side. So I think Justin Jefferson is still an elite receiver, but just fantasy purposes wise, I have him at 5. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the number 1 when it's all said and done. Number 4, I got Nico Collins, man. Nico is one of my favorite receivers in this league. Obviously, I think with injuries last year, he was trending to be the number 1 receiver in fantasy at that time. I think he was the number 1 receiver in fantasy at that time before his injuries. So I think it's nothing else. If Nico stays healthy, I think he's going to be amazing. He's going to be one of the best receivers. Number 3, I got Malik Neighbors. Even with his bad quarterback play that he got last year, he was still one of the top receivers in fantasy last year. Now you got Russell Wilson. I know a lot of people talk shit about Russell Wilson, but I think he's still a decent thrower of the deep ball. And then obviously he's got Jackson Dart. I know there's been a lot of noise of him potentially maybe getting in that starting position, but I think either way, he's definitely going to get better quarterback play, especially if it's Russell Wilson. So I like Malik Neighbors to definitely compete for the top spot. Number 2, I got CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb is with Dak Prescott back, and now he can't worry about – he's not going to get double teamed as much with George Pickens on the other side. They're going to have to respect him. I think CeeDee Lamb could have a great, great year. So I do expect him to have a great year. And then number 1, you got to go Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase is, the connection with him and Burrow is nothing slight. And then honorable mentions, Rashee Rice. I think Rashee Rice can have a great year. Obviously, you just got to see how he responds back from the knee injury and all that. And then obviously, you still got to see if my man's going to get suspended or not. I know he reported that it doesn't look like it's going to happen, but you still got to keep that in mind because that's the only reason, honestly, I didn't have Rashee Rice in my top 10 is just because of those certain question marks. Like if he's going to get suspended, he's definitely going to miss at least 4 games at least, you know what I mean? So that's going to be a lot of reps. DJ Moore, I think can honestly have a really good year with Caleb Williams and the Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson's going to have a lot of stuff for DJ Moore because even though there was a lot of situations last year with DJ Moore where I was really disappointed, especially the way he was acting on the field, looked like he was quitting on plays, showing up Caleb Williams and all that stuff like that. I still think DJ Moore is a talented receiver. You know what I mean? So I think Ben Johnson has a lot of tricks up his sleeves. And then another name is Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill is motivated because he needs that money. He needs that contract because he has 35 babies. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has a really good year and he kind of shows out to get that money. So, and then obviously Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, stuff like that. I think those guys could, but those are the main 3 guys I think that could elevate themselves into top 10 as far as making it into the list. So yeah, that's my list.
I'm gonna go with the bottom. I'm gonna start with 10. I'm gonna go with Rashee Rice. I just think he's gonna get it. Even if he does get suspended, I still think he's gonna put up numbers. I think they're gonna streamline him touches. He's the number 1 wide receiver on this team. Yeah, they're gonna use him like they use Travis Kelce in the middle of the field. That's what he's good at. So I think he's gonna get his touches. Number 9, I'm gonna go with DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is gonna have I think he's gonna have a big year this year. I think he's gonna. I think he understands. Last year was last year. I think him and Caleb are on good terms this year. I think Ben Johnson and his offense. Now we're gonna see him break out. He's gonna have an Amon St. Brown type, year. You know what I'm saying? Like I think DJ Moore, and I think I don't know if you would agree with me. I would say DJ Moore athletically is probably more talented than Amon St. Brown.
He's way more athletic.
Yeah,
St. Brown.
Yeah. Because I think DJ Moore is a bigger Stephon Diggs when Stephon was in his prime.
100%. I totally agree.
I know they went to Maryland, but I'm just saying, like, he's just a bigger version of Stephon Diggs to me, and I think he can have that type. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he can have that type of trajectory in a Ben Johnson offense. So, number. What was it? Number?
No, 8? You're at number 8. Yeah,
I'm gonna go with AJ Brown. I'm with you. My thing with the whole AJ Brown thing too is always him and Jalen Hurts. Man, they always arguing.
Clockwork, baby, clockwork. Reading the book on the sidelines, shit like that.
AJ Brown, I have a game where he's got 7 catches, 175 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And then they have another game where he has 3 catches
for 25 yards.
And he's in the media like, man, the quarterback ain't giving me the ball, you know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put him at 8. Number 7, I'm gonna go with Puka. My thing with Puka is the injuries. He had dealt with it a little bit last year. So we got to see if he can stay healthy for most of the season. And like you said, Devontae Adams is over there, and he might command some touches. He might end up being the number 1 guy over there.
Yeah, he might.
He might be
he's still really good. He's still really good.
And now he has a guy who can get him the ball like he wants it. Devontae might have a resurgence of like, hey, I'm still here, young pups. I'm still the man. You know what I'm saying? So
I would not be surprised.
So yeah, I'm gonna put Puka there. At number 6, I'm gonna go with Amon St. Brown. I still think he's the man. I still think he's gonna put up some big numbers. He's always open. Dude is always open. So yeah. I'm gonna go with him at number 6. Number 7, I'm with you with Jamar Chase. Not Jamar Chase, but Justin Jefferson. I just, how I feel about JJ McCarthy. I gotta see it, man.
Yeah, man, that's all it is.
But Justin Jefferson can put up numbers with anybody at his quarterback. He can. You just get him the ball, he'll be fine. Yeah, but still, I gotta see it, man, before I put him in the top 3, too.
It has nothing to do with JJ at all. This is more about quarterback. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So number 4, I'm gonna go with CeeDee Lamb. I still think CeeDee is one of the top receivers in the league, but he is going to have George Pickens on the other side. So we'll see how they distribute those touches.
We already know.
Dak Prescott having George Pickens in his ear, calling him a bum because he ain't getting no passes.
Bro, what week is that happening though? That's the question. What's the over under? Is it before week 3 or after week 3?
I said I give it about week 5.
Week 5.
Give about week 5.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So and then number 3, I'm gonna go with Malik Neighbors.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors is gonna have a great year this year. Mm-hmm. Even if it's Russ out there, even if it's your boy Jackson Dart, but whoever's the quarterback, I think Malik Neighbors is gonna be able to produce whoever's back there. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna say Malik Neighbors. Number 2, I'm going Brian Thomas Jr., man. I'm going, man. That dude is special, man.
All right.
He was out there with Mac Jones, balling.
Yeah.
So I don't care who the quarterback is in Jacksonville. My man Trevor Lawrence go down. Just put somebody out there, man. My man getting open. So, and I think a lot of people were sleeping on Brian Thomas Jr. My eyes was open when I saw him run that. I know the 40 time ain't everything, but he ran it so smooth. That it was just like, y'all better watch out for this dude. He was a baller at LSU. People just forget because he was playing on the other side of Malik Neighbors. But he was a baller at LSU. So I think he's going to have a great year. So I got him at number 2. And then number 1, I got Jamar Chase. It's, self-explanatory. Joe Burrows is going to get him the ball regardless. So
look.
And then, hold on. Some of my honorable mentions. I'm going to, I'm gonna say Chris Olave has a resurgence this year.
You a brave man, bro.
But not on the
Brave
damn
man.
Saints. He's gonna be on a different team getting that resurgence. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see him get traded.
Khalil Shakir is another guy that you could put on your bench because he's Josh Allen's number one wide receiver. Let's just call it what it is. So he's gonna get his touches. Keon Coleman's another guy you could look out for. I know you ain't a big Xavier Worthy, but the way they give him the ball, I think he's gonna get it running and catching the ball. So it doesn't hurt you to put Xavier Worthy on your bench if you want to play him 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever. Xavier Worthy's a good guy to have on your bench. So that's just a few names out there.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Jacoby Myers can have a decent year too, especially with Geno Smith. I think that's a receiver that I think that could surprise some people, that he might put up some numbers or like, maybe I should put him on my fantasy team. You know what I mean? But man, this list, because I'm gonna be honest with you, on my list, I didn't have Amon-Ra St. Brown. I totally forgot about Amon-Ra. And then on your list, you didn't even have Nico Collins. So, honestly, this, what this list shows you? Hey, anybody that's doing fantasy this year, there should be no reason why you don't have at least one solid receiver on your fucking goddamn team.
Receiver is the easiest thing to pick, and you shouldn't look.
I know a lot has to do with injuries, but
if you're a first time fantasy, and I know you only may know names or whatever, you may be a casual, man. Don't sweat it. Don't even sweat it. Yeah. You pick. You gonna get you at least 2 to 3 good wide receivers.
Yeah. At least
on
2
your roster. You know what I'm saying? And you might find your sleeper in one of these rookies, because couple of these rookies gonna break out. So
you got Travis Hunter. You got who else? You got homie from
Jaden Higgins, who played for the Houston. Joel Noel.
Yeah. You got a whole bunch, man. So man. It's really showing the overall depth in the league, where it's just like there's so many great players out there. It's getting to the point where it's like
Holton, who plays for the Seahawks, Ricky, what's his name? Played for the UNLV. Ricky what?
Oh, Ricky White. Yeah, Ricky White.
He's another one. Kyle Williams, who plays for the Patriots. He's gonna get plenty of touches. So he's probably the second best wide receiver on the team right now.
Right. You know what I mean? You still got Stephon Diggs on the Patriots. I know, he has some shit going on. You still got Mike Evans. You got Cortland Sutton. You still got Zay Flowers, we ain't talked about. Toria McMillan for Carolina. Chris Godwin coming back from injury. Calvin Ridley, I think he had a resurgence towards the end of last year. Addison, Juwan Jennings, who I think, he put up a lot of great numbers last year with the 49ers, and especially with them getting rid of Deebo Samuel and stuff like that. I think he's going to get even more love. What's my man, Ricky Purcell? You know what I mean? Old Florida guy, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just players all across the board, man. It's getting to the point where it's just like maybe they should start thinking about expansion and maybe putting another team, because there's a lot of teams with mad depth where players should easily could be playing, but they don't get the burn because it's just only so many spots in the league, man. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's do our college football preview. We're gonna do the Mountain West today.
Yeah.
Which is close to home for us. So according to the consensus, people are expecting Boise State to still be that team in this conference. I know they lost Ashton Genty, but they are bringing back quarterback Maddox Manson. He's supposed to be a really good, he's really good. He played really good last year. He's coming back. Also, they got a very good elite offensive line. So they're still expecting big things. They expect, whatever running back who can, fill in the shoes of Ashton Genty will be just fine. They said they got a deep backfield. So we'll see. Of course, UNLV, hometown, they're expected to be still really good. They were good under Barry Odom. They might be even better with Dan Mullins. And I know he's got a lot of transfer portal people, the 2 quarterbacks that he got, the one from Michigan and the one kid from Virginia. They're battling there. I don't know who. I think the kid from Virginia is the starter right now. They got some wide receivers that came over, some middle linebackers. They just an overhaul of talent that's coming from Big Ten, SEC, ACC, that's on this team. And we'll see, because Dan Mullen is a quarterback whisperer, and his offense is, Maul knows firsthand from experience with having Dan Mullen in Florida, that Dan Mullen's gonna have this offense rolling, and we're gonna be putting up some points. We was already putting up points last year. Now they gonna really be putting up points, and I expect this defense to still be really good. Then you have San Jose State. They're bringing back passing, good passing game with Walker and Jet. So they're gonna have that tempo offense under their head coach. So they're expecting big things from them. They're actually considered a dark horse this year. Fresno State, they they played pretty good last year. They expected to make some noise this year. So we'll see how they do. Colorado State, they got the quarterback, but they do have to replace Torrey Holton. So we'll see if they can replace him, because he was their best receiver. So we'll see how that looks. Air Force, they're always solid, but I don't expect him to vie for the conference or anything like that. But you never know. Same thing with Nevada, Utah State, and Wyoming, and all them. But the teams that are really vying for this is probably Boise, UNLV, San Jose State, and Fresno. So, what is your overall thoughts on the Mountain West Conference?
Obviously, you know what, the Mountain West has been owned by Boise State for how many years now? You know what I mean? Like, they've been kind of like, the way the Chiefs have been with the AFC West at this point with this conference. So, look, man, Boise State is most likely probably going to be the favorites heading into the season. You kind of talked about it. They got about 67% overall returning, 75% from their offense and defense and stuff like that. Over 201 starts returning. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, they're pretty much getting the majority of their team back. I think one of the only bigger players that they're missing is Ashton, who is a big key. You know what I mean? But overall, they should have a lot of consistencies amongst that roster. And then UNLV, man, they're having a lot of turnover. You know what I mean? But again, we probably have the best head coach going into this conference with Dan Mullen. We you kind of already spit out about it, but we got the two transfers with Anthony Calandria from Virginia, Alex Orji from Michigan. Alex Orji, obviously he's more of the athletic guy, but really can't throw the ball. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of packages of him, running some RPOs, stuff like that. We got running back Jalen Glover from Utah, Kevon Lee from Penn State, Dejan Reynolds from Florida and Pitt, Troy O'Mary from Texas or Arizona State, Malik McGowan, O-lineman from North Carolina. We got Chief Borders from Florida to Minzy Adeli from Texas A&M, Jalen Lee from LSU. Like, we got some cats that are from SEC squads, Pac-12 squads, where we can actually have a really solid team. I think this conference is going to come down between Boise State and UNLV. I just think is it going to be the time where UNLV can get over the hump and beat this team? You know what I mean? That's really going to come down to it. I agree with you. Those other teams can compete, but I really think it's going to come down to UNLV and Boise State. I think we could see another situation where it's a conference championship game. Who's going to get the opportunity to get like the last playoff spot in the playoff? I mean, I could see a same situation as we saw last year. So I'm expecting big things from UNLV. I definitely can't wait to check out a couple games and see how Dan Mullen has his team. I think there's been a lot of you can feel the city behind and getting behind UNLV football more and more. You know what I mean? And I think that's a great thing. I think them playing at Allegiant Stadium, I think that's been a big key. Getting a head coach like Dan Mullen, who's been a top SEC head coach, to come over to UNLV into the Mountain West and be the head coach of this team. I think that says a lot in what direction this program is going. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see the quarterback play and how that situation is going to play out and all these new transfers coming in, man. And obviously, I still think, not playing aside, I still think we got the coldest jerseys in all of college football. I think we got some of the coldest ones, especially in Mountain West, and they ain't even close. So, I'm excited, man. I can't wait for the season to start. I know there's a lot of big games that we have. Obviously, we have the big game against UCLA early in the season. I think UCLA comes out here, so I think that'd be a great game to go to and check out the team. Week two. I think that'll be a great game. I think I might go check that one out and see. I think that'll be a big key to see where this team is and what direction we're going. Like if we're still missing a couple pieces, or if we got all the right key players that we can make a deep run and maybe potentially make the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. The WNBA just announced 3 new teams that they're going to have expanding. They expanded the league to 18 teams. It's going to all go down 2028, 2029, and 2030. Mm-hmm. You got the Cleveland is getting a team, Detroit's getting a team, and Philly's getting a team. So, what are your overall thoughts of these cities getting a WNBA team?
I think it's great for the league, man. We see a ton of players that should be in the league that aren't in the league because there's just not enough spots. I think, especially with these next couple of classes coming in, there are more talented women that deserve to be playing in the WNBA that just can't get the opportunity. So with them, obviously, you see what Golden State is doing this year. There's been a very surprising team that has the potential to make the playoffs this year in their first inaugural season. The way they've been playing. So I think it's great. I think it's great, especially in these cities that show much love for their NBA teams and their college basketball teams in the region. We all know Philly's a big sports town, and in Detroit and Cleveland, they love their sports. So I think it'll be great for the WNBA. You get these big time northeastern cities that have real pride in their sports, in their cities, man. I think they'll definitely get behind this team, these WNBA ladies. I think it's just a proponent to everything that the WNBA has going on. Like, I love the way they've been calling the game. I love the physicality in the game. You got some of the biggest stars, especially in sports, especially in North America. You got the likes of, Caitlin Clark, you got Angel Reese, you got Nafisa Collier, you got Angel Wilson, you got Kelsey Plum, you got Paige Buchers, who's been balling. I know she's on a bad team, but she's balling. She's balling. You know what I mean? And Kelsey Mitchell, and we ain't even got to the New York Liberty with Breonna Stewart and all those ladies over there, man. Like, it is deep. Like, these teams are deep, and it's overdue. Like, and then and there's still a ton of players that are either at the end of the bench that could be getting a lot of playing time, or just not in the league, period. Like, that shit, like, my boo, Deja Kelly, you know what I'm saying? Like, she need to be in the league, bro. Like,
I don't want to make you mad, but some players got waved up the Aces today.
Got waved.
The Kitley, I think Liz Kitley, the center chick, and the Tiffany Mitchell chick got cut.
Tiffany Mitchell got cut. Okay, I know. I saw they traded for somebody, but I don't know. I didn't.
And then they got the Nalissa Smith, I think her name is.
Yeah, we would get her from the Washington Mystics or something.
The Wings.
The Wings, okay. I haven't really watched any game. I'll have to watch some gameplay of her. I haven't really been paying too much attention, but
she look like she's pretty good.
Yeah, man. I think the Aces have been playing decent as of late. Let me see what the record is. Yeah. While my dog's over here having a fucking panic attack. Let me see. Where's the WNBA? Yeah, we're 8-8 right now. We're 8-8 right now. Valkyrie is 9-7. Seattle Storm's 10-7. Another Phoenix Mercury have been balling, and they dominated the Liberty the other night. They've been hooping. Liberty look like they've been taking a little slip. They lost their last 2.
The Lynx are the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, like Nafisa Collier is easily gonna win the MVP. And then, like, that team is loaded. We got Nafisa Collier,
Courtney Williams,
Kayla McBride. You know what I mean? Like, they're hooping. Yeah, man. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see how the season plays out. But I'm disappointed in the Sparks. I expected better from them. They're 5-12 right now. But
it'll be all right, man. Yeah,
what it is.
Chelsea balling, man. Rika out here doing her thing. They waiting for Cameron Brate to come back. They still gotta wait for her to come back.
Yeah. But by the time she come back, it might be a little too late. Because we all know this season is like a blink of an eye, man. They start the playoffs by August, man. Like, what we talking about? So, yeah, man. But overall, man, it seems like the Aces seem like they're getting their legs back underneath them. So I'm excited that they, seems like they're playing pretty well. Asia Wilson's back, healthy again. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited for the WNBA and the expansion of this and just how overall everything's kind of playing out.
For sure. All right, man. Let's talk a little music, man. I saw somebody talking about this. I was like, you know what? I want to ask Maul, what is his top? I know it says top 5, but what are your top hip hop remixes that you hold near and dear to yourself?
So I didn't make a list. I ain't gonna lie, I totally forgot about this goddamn topic. But off the top of my head, remixes, huh? I really love the Clips grinding remix. I really love that one. That one holds a lot dear to my heart. I gotta think. Let me think about it. What do you got?
So, just to go through a few, all about the Benjamins. People didn't know that was a remix, but that is a remix. I think They Like Me was a remix. You didn't know that. Even a little R&B. The In My Bed remix was a good remix. The Touch It remix, yeah, very good remix. I Want to Be Down, Brandy, that remix with Yo Yo Queen Latifah, still a classic. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I Shot You remix. That's when we first heard Foxy Brown kill it. You know what I'm saying? Quiet Storm with Lil Kim. That was a good remix. Lean Back remix with Eminem and the Mace. I'm So Hood remix. Chief Keef Don't Like remix with Kanye. Pusha T. Loyal remix. Kendrick Don't Kill My Vibe remix with Jay-Z. Hustlin' remix with Jay-Z and Jeezy. They Know with Shorty Yellow with Jeezy, Lil Wayne. Who else was on that song? Ludacris. Major Look remix. Just to name a few. You know what I'm saying? Craig Mack Flavor in Year remix.
Yeah, honestly, like obviously I said grinding is definitely one of my favorite ones as far as like remixes. I'm trying to see. The Annie Up remix. That was like one of my favorites. I love that one too. The Throw Some D's remix.
Oh man, how can I
like
forget
that
about
one
that?
with Andre 3000.
Walk It Out remix with Andre 3000.
Yeah, I Shot You remix was one of the ones. Flavor in Your Ear remix. Yeah, those are probably my favorite ones, honestly, as far as like out of all the hip hop remixes for sure. But man, there's some great ones, man. There's some great ones, man. It's just
I know he's going on trial. He's on trial right now. But Same Damn Time remix. I'm sorry, the Diddler killed it. I'm sorry. I don't know who wrote that verse for him, but it's one of his better verses.
Yeah, man. Well, shit, man. I think they're deliberating right now for a verdict right now. So we'll know here either today or in the next couple of days whether my man's going to be guilty or not. So I don't know if you've been paying attention to it. Have you been paying attention to it? No.
I was done once they had some dude named the Punisher come out. I was like, yeah, I'm good. This ain't for me. This one ain't for me. All right, man. Let's go ahead and recap. WWE Night of Champions happened this weekend on Saturday. It was a pretty good card. You had John Cena versus CM Punk. You had Jade Cargill versus Asuka for Queen of the Ring. You had Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for King of the Ring. You had Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. You had Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. So yeah, so pretty good event. Cody ended up beating Randy. Randy had a couple opportunities to take out Cody's. Randy Orton's known for kicking people in their head. And he had an opportunity. He was going to do it. Then his conscience kind of started messing with him. Then he went on ahead and tried to go through it. Cody dodged it. And then, they went back and forth. Then there was a spot where Randy Orton took the turnbuckle off, kind of going heelish on us. And backfired on him. He tried to slam Cody's head on it. Cody blocked it, pushed him into the turnbuckle, hit his ribs, hit him with the crossroads. Cody Rhodes is your king of the ring, and he's going to SummerSlam probably to face your boy John Cena. Then you had Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. A lot of people came out in this ring. His name Taya Longo, I forgot his name. One of the guys is part of Solo Sikoa's crew. He came out, hit Jacob Fatu with a slam off the top of the rope. Solo pinned him, didn't get the 1, 2, 3. Then Jacob Fatu came out, did his move on Solo Sikoa, and then a new member, Haku Aloha, came out and pretty much beat up Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa into winning the match, and he is your new U.S. champion. And then you had your girl Jade Cargill versus Asuka. She ended up beating Asuka. She pinned her, hit her move on her. It was a pretty decent match, but Jade Cargill went on to be the queen of the ring. She's probably going to face Tiffy, probably at Evolution. I wouldn't be surprised she faces her at Evolution. But I also won't be surprised if she beats Tiffy and then Naomi cashes in on her and ends up being your new champion, and that ignites that feud. And then you had the main event. Oh no, you had Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. That was a good match. Sami ended up winning that match. But then the main event, yeah, John Cena versus CM Punk. It was a lot going on. CM Punk had a chance to. He was about to win the match. There was no referee in the match. Next thing you know it, Seth Rollins and crew comes out. They get to beating up CM Punk. John Cena hits one of the people from Seth Rollins' crew with an attitude adjustment. Actually, John Cena tried to hit CM Punk with the belt, and it backfired on him. But all in all, there was a spot where they kind of cleaned house. John Cena and CM Punk, because Seth Rollins and John Cena kind of had like a face-to-face, and he hit him with the attitude adjustment. And then it was a spot where CM Punk extended his hand to John Cena to shake it. John Cena shook it, did the same thing tried to do the same thing he did at Elimination Chamber to Cody Rhodes, made the face, and then looked like he was going to kick him. He got blocked. He got the go to sleep put on him, GTS put on him, but he he ended up kicking out. And then Seth Rollins, he hit CM Punk with the belt. Hit him with the briefcase. Seth Rollins hit him with the curve stomp. John Cena threw Seth Rollins out the ring, and he pinned CM Punk 1, 2, 3. So he's still your United Undisputed Champion. So
the show.
So it was a pretty solid, card. Interesting to see what happens tonight. I have a feeling Seth Rollins is going to insert himself into the title picture with John Cena now. I don't think he's going to deal with Gunther. I don't know what direction they're going to go with Gunther, because I know he's got to face Goldberg in I think it's in a couple weeks. But and I don't know how that match is going to go. Like that my man Goldberg was limping down the ramp. Like I don't even know how that's going to go.
Yeah, I don't know.
But WWE, they got to WWE it sometimes. So I think Seth Rollins is going to insert himself into that title contention, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 3-way match between CM Punk, well, not CM Punk, but Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and John Cena. So we'll see, though. We'll see, because him and CM Punk got to have one last match. They got to end this feud. Enough is enough. They either got to do a Hell in a Cell, Iron Man match. I don't care, but they got to end their feud so we can move on. So CM Punk can move on, do what he gonna do. Maybe CM Punk moves on and faces Gunther, and he becomes that champion. But yeah, it's time. It's time to end this feud for sure. So
yeah.
All right, man. You got anything else?
Do I have anything else? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, man, excited. They announced that college basketball is coming back. EA, they announced that today. Was it Schofield? You know, he won on Saturday, knocked out. Great
Shout out to
performance.
Schofield, man. Tevin Farmer is, a very formidable opponent. Did not see him get knocked out in the first round like that. Schofield definitely boosted his stock in the 135. He has endless people he can face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether it be, if he gets the Tank fight, cool. If he gets Shakur, that's fine. Maybe he gets a Zapata after this fight. Maybe he gets him. There's some other people he could fight. So maybe Mason and Dula. You never know. So there's a lot of people in the 135. So, but I was very impressed by Schofield.
Yeah, man. So yeah, shout out to him, man. Yeah.
And then how you feel? I know you hate your boy Haney, but how you feel about Haney and Norman being announced?
No, I like it. I said it. I just don't want this shit being in Dubai. Like, it just doesn't fit a Dubai scene to me. That's my only problem about that shit, man. It's just I feel like this should be like in the hometown of one of them cat cities, man. I think it would have more of an impact. Like, I get it, Turk Al Sheikh, man. He definitely has to put some fights out in Dubai, but this doesn't give me Dubai fight feels. You know what I'm saying? I think Dubai needs it's more for like those European, like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. I think it just fits more out there than, these guys that are from like Philly or Houston or, Arkansas. And that. I think this should be like, give Devin Haney a hometown fight or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or something, or put this shit like in somewhere that will have more meaning for us, because, I get it. I mean, we do have some culture out there, but like, come on, this needs to be a stateside fight, not Dubai. But overall, I think it'll be a good fight. It should be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. We shall see. All right, man. Who gets your flowers of the week?
So two. First one goes to Matt Freese, the USA goalkeeper. Man, he had an amazing performance against Costa Rica yesterday, making a lot of key saves. I think he made like 3 or 4 key saves in the penalty kicks, man. So the USA can advance to the semifinals against Guatemala. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Matt Freese. Might have became a superstar for soccer. You know what I mean? I know USA Soccer's been having its ups and downs. And then last, I got to give it to Angel Reese, man, for the 24 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists. She had an amazing performance. I know a lot of people have been getting on her game since pretty much she started her WNBA career with all these Caitlin Clark fanatics and shit like that. And I don't know what the point case of, critiquing Angel Reese's game like this as, obviously I think it's put a hunger in her that, maybe she needed, so she could shut a lot of these people up who, just don't appreciate the game and what she does for the game and for her team. So hopefully we can see more performances from this, because if she can do this, then she'll be right up there for competing for an MVP. So again, Chicago Sky into a place where they can, be a respectable team. So shout out to Angel Reese.
For sure. I want to give my flowers to Candace Parker, man. Her jersey got retired on that game yesterday.
Looked good too. She was looking good too yesterday.
It really looked good. Sheldon, you dropped the ball. But no, shout out to her, man. She's one of the greats in the WNBA, man.
Yeah.
She's definitely top 5, whatever list, top 5,
all-time greats. Yeah,
she's one of the all-time legends in the WNBA. Even spanning from college to the WNBA, she's been great, and you just want to give her flowers, man. Well deserved. Her jersey's getting because I know her jersey got retired, I think in Atlanta too, so it's well deserved. You know what I'm saying? She won a championship in Atlanta. I think she won a couple of championships with the Sparks too, so shout out to her, man. And she won a championship with the Aces. So
best rookie of all time, man. The only rookie to win an MVP. And
for sure. So shout out to Candace Parker. And who gets your hell no of the week?
So I got 2. First one goes to the Commanders front office. I don't know what they're doing with this Terry McLaurin situation, but they need to fix it. Like at the end of the day, he's meant a lot to that team and that city and that culture. He's done a lot. He stayed with that team when they were horrible. He's put up some great numbers with no quarterbacks. He put up amazing numbers with Jaden Daniels. You have a lot of great mojo going into this season. Don't fuck it up. Like, there's a report with Adam Schefter saying there's no progression in this. And we're getting close to training camp. Like, Terry McLaurin is one of those players that deserves all the love from his organization. Don't fuck it up. Like, you have a great thing going. Don't turn back the hands of time and becoming that organization that goes back to doing dumb shit. It looks like you have everything lined up to be successful. Do what's right. Pay Terry McLaurin. He deserves it. And then number 2, there was an incident, I think in Idaho, where somebody made a wildfire and ended up shooting first responders, I think killing 2 firefighters and injuring 1. So he pretty much, started the wildfire so he can ambush them. So I saw it right before we came on. I don't know the guy's name who did the shooting or anything like that. I think they did kill him, thank God. But he gets the biggest hell no of the day. Like, firefighters do not deserve that, man. All they do is no one deserves this, but firefighters do not deserve that, man. All they do is just help our communities out. They don't kill nobody. They don't do anything controversial. They're just some hardworking guys that put their lives on the line every single day, and they don't deserve that. So they did a call, and then you doing that, that's just some cowardly pussy shit, excuse my language, but you just don't do that, man. Our society is evil beyond means. Yeah, I can't even describe how evil our society is and where we've gone as a culture and a country. But sad day. I want to send my prayers out to all the families who got affected by this travesty, and prayers out to all those firefighters, man, who are involved, man. And shout out to every firefighter, man, that does their job, man. Appreciate what y'all do.
I got 2 as well. First one goes to B. Samar. If you haven't heard about her, she's a comedian, I guess actress, and she's most known for being on Wild and Out with Nick Cannon and all them.
Mm-hmm.
But she recently was on the podcast with her best friend, and her best friend was telling her all the hardships that she went through, and she's seeing B. Samar blessing everybody else, and she won't help her out. And, she told her, like, it ain't your responsibility to help me. But it was, kind of like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, you supposed to be my girl, and you blessing everybody else. And then be some more, get on there crying, talking about her finances is bad, and now she got to go from Bloomingdale's to H&M and all this other craziness, man. She just showed that she's a terrible friend. That's all I heard.
Mm-hmm.
That's what goes to my other point with you ladies out there. Stop calling everybody your bestie. All right, because damn well that girl ain't your bestie. You don't even like that girl.
Nah, about 80% of them you don't like.
Yeah, so stop calling them your bestie, because you ain't gonna help them out. You ain't gonna do stuff for them. All right, stop throwing that word around. Men don't do that. All right, so she gets the hell no. My second one is gonna surprise you, Mom. It goes to me.
Oh, what? Yo, let me sit back, bro. What's going on, man? What's going
For
on,
allowing Jake Paul to subject me to this BS. Him and Chavez Jr.
Yeah, all that tough talk. Man, I ain't gonna watch it. This motherfucker texting me like, man, he disrespected the game. I'm like, why? Hold on. I'm like, yo, why are you watching this shit, bro?
Because I thought at least he was fighting a boxer.
Bro, we know Chavez. He ain't no fucking boxer. He's disgraced his family, bro. I think his own father disowned him.
He did. Well, he was there. He didn't disgrace him too much. He knew he was there.
Yeah, boy. Because he got that check. That's why.
He did. And what pisses me off more is that he did it for 8 straight rounds of no throwing, no hands. And then in the 9th, 10th round, now he want to throw hands.
So let me get this straight. He didn't throw not one punch first round.
8 rounds of not throwing barely any punches.
What was his punch count?
Like 2 or 3 a round until the 8th round.
Come on, man. We all know this is paid.
And then at that time, and then after that, once he started throwing it, guess what? It was getting interesting. Like, if he did that for the remainder of the fight, We might have had a split decision or something.
Brother, we know that shit was in the contract that he can't throw more than 3 punches until the 8th and
that's
last
why
couple rounds.
That's why I'm getting hell no.
Hell yeah, you deserve that shit.
But
I
I'm gonna
forgot
tell
about
you
that.
right. I'm gonna tell you right now, Jake Paul. You stay away from that big boy Zorro that fought the fight before that. Do not. No, he will knock you out.
Oh, that's who he's calling.
They did a face to face. He called out him. I don't know why you're calling out Tank Davis. You're like,
yeah, I remember I saw he
pounds.
called like Badu Jack or some shit like that.
Okay, Badu's at least his size, but come on now, Zordo's his size. That's the weight class he's in, cruiserweight. And I ain't gonna lie, that Zordo and the dude, I forgot the dude's name. They was throwing bombs at each other, but Zordo's actually pretty good. But yeah, stay away from Zordo. Stay away from Badu Jack, because you're gonna get knocked out by both of them brothers. And Tank, I don't want to see that, because you're like 100 pounds heavier than Tank, and like what, 4 or 5 inches taller than Tank. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see you fight him. I'm sorry. That's a pure money grab for Tank right there. Because I'm not saying he can't catch him, but nah.
See, even if he were to fight those guys, I wouldn't trust it, because all those guys, I think, could see the money, be like, all right, I'll take a dive for this shit.
I don't think Zordo would do it. I don't think Zordo's too up and coming, so I don't think Zordo. You know what fight would be good?
Well, that fight will never happen.
I know what fight would be good for Zordo. But what's the name of that to move up a weight class?
Who?
Him and Benavidez would be a classic.
Oh, Benavidez, and he got to do more. He got to deserve that fight, though. He can't just get that fight. He got to deserve that fight.
The cruiserweight ain't all that great.
No, I'm not saying it is though, but like he got to earn that shit.
Davis even talked about it on the broadcast. It was like, yeah, man, the cruiserweight is kind of like a stepping stone weight division. You go to cruiserweight. You go to cruiserweight, test yourself out, and then go to heavyweight.
That's it, bro. That's it. That's all it really is, for. It's just a stepping stone. But as far as like fucking Jake Paul, bro, I don't trust anything with him. I don't care who he announces his next fight with, because it's always a certain leverage in him. Like, it's just like, I feel like the people that he fights can easily be bought in a sense degree, whether it's an old fighter who knows he's on his last legs, or a young fighter who be like, yo, I'll never see this kind of money because I'm not in the star category for being the next up and coming great boxer. Like, this might be the most money I'll ever see. So fuck it. I'll take a dive and then just continue my fucking career. I might have to take a hit, but it is what it is.
Jake,
like, I'm feeding my family. So I just don't trust anything.
Jake, fight Deontay Wilder next.
Yeah, because honestly, the only way I'll be interested in a Jake Paul fight is he fights somebody that doesn't need the bread and can whoop his ass. Like, you need a combination of that. I don't think Deontay Wilder needs the bread. And then, look, I didn't watch his last fight, but it would be interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Look, man,
Jake Paul is not getting in the ring with Deontay Wilder. He's not getting in the ring.
Deontay Wilder looked pretty decent. I was liking the head movement.
Oh, yeah. I didn't watch it, but I'm just saying, even when Deontay Wilder was at his worst, when he was getting knocked out for like 3 fights in a row, I still don't think Jake Paul's getting in the ring with Deontay Wilder.
He catches Jake Paul with that right hand, it is over. Jake Paul's face is going to explode.
It's over. Like, we know
I think he would quit. I think he would quit boxing at that point.
Nah, man, we know what this is, bro. This is just this is a fixed shit. Man, like, there's no other way about this shit.
Let me ask you a question. If Canelo does lose to Terrence Crawford, do you think he gets a money grab against Jake Paul?
Does he get a money grab with Jake Paul? No. Because there's still other fights he can do that.
He ain't fighting Benavidez. Let me get that out your brain.
I don't think he'll ever fight Benavidez, because I know how much of a terror that Benavidez would be for Canelo. But let's say he does get, hypothetically he does get demolished by Terrence Crawford. And I've seen a couple of videos of Terrence Crawford training. He looking really good right now. I think that weight's gonna be fine. He doesn't look like he lost any speed or any quickness. He looks perfectly fine to me. But and then on top of that, Canelo's pissing him off. So I like that shit. I like that shit. But let's just say hypothetically, Terrence Crawford wins this Canelo fight. And in pretty decent fashion. What do you think Canelo will do? Who do you think he would fight next? Because obviously he's not going to. I think he still got about 2 years left until he really strongly considers retiring. And I think he still has a contract underneath Turk to fight.
Yeah, he has a 4-fight deal.
4-fight deal. So I I don't think he would fight Benavidez, but I think it would put it more on the table because I think it would help his career a little bit more. Because if he loses to Terrence Crawford in dominant fashion, it will hurt him in his legacy. But
I think it would hurt that fight, though. I think Benavidez would be like, "Nah, I'm good."
Nah, Benavidez will always want to smoke with Canelo. He wants that fight. He wants that fight. That's the one fight he will. But Benavidez talks about this shit, bro. He will want that fight just for the purposes to whoop his ass. He wants to whoop his ass so bad because he wants to show of a bum he is.
But what if Crawford does not all the way, but what if he slightly does just the inkling what he did to Spence, Canelo? Benavidez, you kind of looking like.
Nah, because he wants that shit. Because honestly, no matter what, he still wants that taste of blood, bro. He wants to taste Canelo's blood, bro. He wants that, bro. He wants that. If that shit will still be a mega fight, it still will be a mega fight. That fight will still be a mega fight. Whatever happens with Canelo during this fight, whether he wins, loses, that Benavidez fight will still be a mega fight. People will still want to watch that because there's a lot of hatred in that. There's a story behind that. You have the story of Canelo looking like he's running away from this big bad man. And then you have this man who looks like he's trying to chase down. Like he looked like he kind of it's kind of like a story of like, how God, how Kratos was trying to find Zeus and kill that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Because he done him wrong. It's a little bit like that to a degree.
But Zeus didn't get his ass whooped though.
He killed Zeus. What you mean?
Yeah, he did, but I'm saying. Before that, Kratos was looking for Zeus because he wanted to smoke. But before that, Kratos didn't see Zeus get beat up by Ares.
Yeah, but this is more of a Mexican pride shit, though. This is Mexican pride, though. I think it's different, bro. Like Benavidez says, like, yeah, all right, he got his ass whipped by Crawford. I still want that. I still want that. You're running away from a matchup that our whole Mexican culture wants. Mexican people want this fight. They want that Canelo. That people will still pay for that shit, bro. Like, will it have a little bit of a dim on it? Maybe, but I would still pay to watch that shit because I would pay to watch Canelo get his ass whooped. I would.
Oh, and I have a PSA for Shakur Stevenson. Hey, Shakur, listen to me, player. You better beat the hell out of Zepeda because Zepeda struggled with Tevin Farmer. It took all 12 rounds for him to win that fight. And some people even thought he lost. So you better beat the dog mess out of next week. Out of Zepeda. You better beat the dog mess because Schofield made short work of Tevin Farmer. So you better beat the dog mess out of Zepeda. It better look like how you face JoJo Diaz. That's how I want to see you look. Beating the hell out of him.
Well, shit. Hopefully he doesn't hurt his hand again. So
I don't care. Break your hand as long as his jaw get broke.
I wonder why he keeps breaking. Like, there's no glove that can protect him with his left hand. Like, there's no glove that can protect this shit.
He just got brittle hands, dog. Okay. It is what it is. Well, you said Mayweather had the same problem.
I look for that. I'm looking forward to that Serrano fight too. I think that's next week too. I think it's on Netflix. I want that fight is gonna be good. Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. That last fight they had was amazing. Last fight was amazing.
We'll talk about it next week. Mm-hmm. All right, man.
Oh my God, bro. Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
All right, good people. That's all the topics for today. If you look at the screen, all my WWE fans out there, you go ahead and hit that QR code, go to our WWE shop, get all your latest WWE merch, all your favorite wrestlers from Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, Io Sky, and Jade Cargill is Maul's favorite, or Bianca Belair, my favorite, or you can get. Or you can get you some Roman Reigns whenever he decides to show up to work. Jacob 5-2, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Seth freaking Rollins, Jey Uso, Yeet. So any of those guys, scan the QR code and go get their merch. And yeah, man. Also, if you want to donate to the Cris Mal podcast, you can donate to our Cash App, Cris Mal Podcast. We'll uh, appreciate anything that you guys donate to us.
Yes, sir. We will.
And whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast, whether it be Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you use to listen to your podcast, Cris Mal Podcast is available. Also, first time watchers on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification button. So when we go live, usually on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays 9-ish Pacific Standard Time, you could jump into lives. You could talk about these topics. We appreciate the 29 that watched today. But yeah, man, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section, and yeah, man. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, Facebook, wherever you use to listen to do your social media on, Cris Mal Podcast is available at Cris Mal. Follow us. We'll follow you back. We're just some regular guys who like to talk sports and music and movies and all kinds of various other things. So go ahead and hit us up. Also, if you have critiques or feedback, or if you have a question or a topic that you want us to bring up on the pod and we like said topic or question, we will bring it up. We will shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and hit us up via email, DM, or our mentions. All right, good people. Until Wednesday night, hope you guys have a good rest of your day and next few days. We will be back with some more hot topics for Wednesday night, Takeover Wednesday. But until then, we go.
Have a great day, yo.